What's up, YouTube? This is your boy, Gabs Cards. Bro, last week at my locals, my homie went 2-1 with Dinomist. What? Insane. Let's dab into his profile.
Alright, we went 2-1 today with Dinomist. Worst deck of 2015, but we're out here in 2023 taking names.
Yeah.
So, on to our monster lineup. We got 2 copies of Dinomist Rex. He's a 2400 beater. All the 6 scales have the same effect, where on resolution of an effect that targets a Dinomist cards, you can destroy it to negate that effect. The really cool thing about it is because it negates on resolution, your opponent can play a card, target your Dinomist, you can be like, okay, activation's okay, and then when it goes to resolution, do it. So a little tricky, little fun. His monster effect, if he battles or it attacks, you can tribute a Dinomist to either non-targeting shuffle an opponent's card from hand or field into deck, or it can attack again on a defense position monster or piercing, and it gains a permanent 100 attack boost whenever it uses that effect.
Nice.
The other big attacker is Spinos. This one's a scale free. All the scale frees have the same effect. If your Dinomist cards would be destroyed, you can destroy it instead, so it helps protect you from board wipes.
Hell yeah.
He can kind of help go for game. He has 2 effects. You can tribute a Dinomist non-once per turn to either let it attack twice or attack directly, so you can tribute 2 to do both. Hit for 5k. Big damage.
5k is a lot.
Ceratops, it's just an extender. If you control a Dinomist that is not another copy of itself, you can just summon it from hands, and same scale free effects.
Yeah, the protection.
The final level 5 is Brachion. It's not as good going first, but it's nice to have the certs going second. If your opponent controls the monster with the highest attack, you can just summon it from hand for free.
Hell yeah.
On to the level 4s. We got Plesiosaurus. For every Dinomist card you control, which includes your Pendulum Scales and your face-up spell traps, all your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack and defense. It stacks for each Plesiosaurus you have. It doesn't seem like a lot at first, but you can end up lowering an entire board by like 2,800 points, and you just beat over everything.
It's insane.
The Searcher, which is probably the worst monster in the deck, but we have to play it because it's a name. Terran. If he beats over a monster in battle, you can search the Dinomist cards. It's not a hard once per turn, which is nice, but the battle restriction's really bad.
Awesome.
Finally, the newest Dinomist cards came out of last set is Dynamite's Power Load, the Draco Slayer. It's got a effect to where it's always treated as a Dinomist card, even in deck, which is very cool. And this is the only one with its own unique pendulum effects, which is once per turn, you can target a Draco Slayer or a Dinomist card in your Pendulum Scale and just special summon it, so it's a free extender. Its monster effect is when it's tributed, you just get to add it to hands. So it synergizes a little with Rex and Spinos. It also synergizes with a Trap Replay. And on to the non-Dinomist monsters, we have a small symphonic package of 2 guitar and a mics. Guitar is a high scale 7, which lets us pendulum summon whatever we want to. You can discard it, or when it's in scale, discard any card. Summon mics from deck. Mics is a level 5, and to turn it summoned, you just get to normal summon twice for machines. It's not an activated effect, so your opponent can't like strike it or anything, and it applies as long as he was summoned that turn, so even if you link him off, you still have that extra normal summon in the wings.
No, yeah.
We got a bestial package of 3 Magnamuts and a Druis Worm. Gives you a link material if you're going second, plus disrupting the opponent. This guy can kind of break boards a little bit, and I mean, it's tier formats, you gotta play him.
Gotta play him.
The one of Tex, Spell Canceller. It absolutely destroys Runic or anything splashing Runic into it. And it's a level 5 or higher machine, which we can search for some of the cards in the extra deck. It negates your Pendulum Scale effects, which is a little rough, but if they can't even play their deck, then that's a win in my book. The last tech is Anti-Human Intelligence Messiah. It's got 2 interesting effects. The Pendulum effect is a macrocosmos, but just for spells and traps. So your pendulums are safe from it. And it's really good against Eldlitz. It's good against Runic again. The monster effect is you can summon it from hand by taking a pendulum monster from your hand or that is scaled and putting it into your extra deck. It has a interesting lingering effect where any monster that was summoned while it was on the fields goes to the graveyard during the end phase.
Ooh, okay.
So even if they summon and then pop this afterwards, those monsters will still summoned while he was in play, so they still lose their monsters at the end of turn.
Nice. It's insane.
On to the spells. We got the one Dinomist spell, Charge. It's like Tenki for Dinomists. On activation, you add a Dinomist monster from deck to hand. It also has the effect if a Dinomist is added to your face-up extra deck, you just immediately add it back to hand, which is able to let you just get them back. You can pen them from hand instead of from the extra deck, so you don't have to be as restricted by the Master Rule and Link Zones.
Yeah.
We got free Ties of the Brethren. This is mainly to target one to level 4s, so we can get a big board out of a lot of Dinomists plus 2 Plesio's. Normally that lowers your opponent's entire board by about 1800, so nothing's really going to be able to beat over the Dinomists, and your Pendulum Scales are going to protect your guys from card effects. If they can't out the board, it gives you a really explosive crackback because you just summoned 2 guys from deck for free.
Sheesh.
2 Fury Akari Yusin. It won me some games today. On activation, you search for a Torrential Tribute. And if your water monsters would be destroyed by card effects, which all your Dinomists are, you can banish this from grave instead, which can sometimes help protect your stuff from your opponent's effects, but mainly it's so that when you play Torrential Tribute, it's a one-sided Torrential Tribute.
Gotcha.
Last spell is 2 Dark Ruler No More, because some decks just put up boards you can't out, some fiends you just can't deal with, so that deals with them.
Gotta have.
On to the traps. We got free Torrential Tributes,
There it is.
which may as well be playing 5 of because we have the spell to search it. It's Torrential Tributes. Card's been decent at least for 2 decades at this point. 2 copies of Howling.
Howling.
So on activation, you get to set 2 scales directly from deck. Can't the Ass Blossoms or anything because it just sets them.
Sheesh, okay.
And then once per turn, you contribute a Dinomist to bounce any card your opponent controls. It deals with floodgates you may not want to deal with. Like it used to deal with Mystic Mine, now it deals with like Skill Drain or Tikaboo, Rivalries, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
It also synergizes with the new one, the Draco Slayer, because when it's tributed, you get to just add it back to hand instead of it going to the extra deck.
What?
The final card we were playing, which I would have played more of if I could have, I just could not find them, is White Howling. I really like this card in water decks. If you control a water monster, you banish a spell from your opponent's grave, and for the rest of that turn, all spells that they play are negated. It's a one-sided spell floodgate for a turn, which is absolutely insane against Runic. I love it. And that's that for the main deck.
Yeah.
Extra deck.
Extra deck.
We got Zeus, because we can make XYZs, why not play Zeus? We got Sark Fortress. It's a very old rank 5 from when we used to play this deck years ago. Just make something attack twice, so helps push the game. Another old XYZ, Diamond Direwolf, pops itself to pop a cards. Tornado Dragon, pops back row, lets you pop your own scales if you need to trigger effects. Gear Gigant, you can make it without using your normal summon, and it lets you search for the Symphonic Engine. Bahamut Sark and Toad, because we are a water deck. Next for Lynx, because we are a water deck, one we Starboy, because why not? Because we're a Pendulum deck, we got Beyond the Pendulum. On summon, pay 12, you can search any Pendulum monster you want, but you cannot play monster effects, and all cards you control are negated until you perform a Pendulum summon after that. So this is why there's only 1 copy of Messiah, because if you're in a matchup where it's good, you just make this to search it. It's a scale 0.
Oh, okay.
The one for the other one of is Cleaveforward Genius. It's unaffected by spells and traps, and it's unaffected by link monster effects, which sometimes comes up. If you summon 2 monsters to its zone simultaneously, which is basically a Pendulum summon, you can search for any level 5 or higher machine, which is how you search Spell Canceller. It also has a Never Niece effect where you can target a face-up card you control and a face-up card your opponent controls and negate both of them. But it's not a quick effect, so it doesn't come up 2 months. IP Masquerena to go into links like Overmax, make them hard to kill. Access code because it's good, we're playing a few attributes. Overmax was really good today. It's hard to out if people make it with IP, and if they out it, then it can out stuff that is hard to out. 1 Nightmare Griffin. Some of the end boards we can make, we can add on like Vis plus Toad plus Spell Canceller, which is an Omni Negate that can't play monster effects and it can't play spells. And then 2 Waking the Dragon's targets, because I'm side decking Waking the Dragon, just Final Sigma and Exterio.
Woohoo!
And that is the deck.
Thanks for watching, YouTube. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you guys got any comments at all, leave it in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you guys don't miss out on any future content. Alright, that's all I got for you. Dab out.